Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us this morning on another wonderful information session discussing York University's Post-RN Bachelor's Program. We're very happy to have with us a very close partner and colleague and sharing the expertise of where IENs can reach, because the sky's the limit, and Dr. Ramesh is a very good example of that. I'll let a few seconds for everyone to join. Please feel free to add your questions in the Q&A box. We'll have some time at the end to address them. And feel free to add anything in the chat as well. So again, good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of our internationally educated nurses joining us today from all over the world. My name is Bessie Nasiopoulos. I'm a proud IN myself, a care member, proud one as well, and I currently serve as the case manager professional development lead here at Care Center. It is truly an honor to be in a room, a virtual one, filled with such resilience, courage, and determination. Each of you bring with you not only clinical expertise, but powerful stories of transition, perseverance, and commitment to the nursing profession. Choosing to continue your nursing journey in Canada is no small step. And today's session is designed to support you, empower you, and help you clearly see what is possible next. This session today focuses on York University's Post-RN Bachelor's Program, a pathway that has helped many IENs transform their global experience into academic and professional success here in Canada. Whether you're exploring your options, seeking clarity, or ready to take that next step, you are in the right place. And it is especially meaningful that today's session is led by someone who truly understands your journey because he has lived it too himself. Dr. Ramesh, which I'll be introducing very shortly. And before I introduce him, I'd like to warmly thank also Dr. Ruth Lee, our Executive Director at Care Center, for joining us today and for her continued leadership and dedication to supporting IENs. A heartfelt thank you as well to Rola, our Program Manager of STARS Care Center Program, and to all our Care Center colleagues, team members, and all of you. Your work and presence makes a meaningful difference in journeys of IENs. Before we move forward, just a minute for a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the traditional territories of Indigenous peoples who are the past, present, and future caretakers of this land that we call Canada. We acknowledge that we are gathered today virtually for the information session from York University with participants attending from all over the world on the ancestral and unceded territories of First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We respect and affirm the inherent and treaty rights of all Indigenous peoples across this land. We recognize that we each have a role to play in the path to decolonization and ask you to now take a moment to reflect upon and acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past and to consider how we can each, in our own way, move forward in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. I'm delighted now to introduce you all to Dr. Ramesh. Dr. Ramesh is an assistant professor at the School of Nursing at York University and an internationally educated nurse with over 30 years of experience spanning clinical practice, teaching, research, and community services across India, Oman, and Canada. He brings more than 15 years of clinical care experience, having worked as an ICU RN and a clinical practice leader in intensive care settings. Academically, Dr. Ramesh holds a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, a Master of Science in Nursing, and a PhD in Nursing. He is the first doctoral graduate in nursing at York University, Canada. Today, he serves as the Undergraduate Program Director of the Direct Entry Bachelor's Program at York University and the program where he continues to shape the future of nursing education. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ramesh as he shares his knowledge, guidance, expertise, and encouragement with us today.
Thank you, Bessie, for those kind words. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining. I will start sharing my screen. You can see my screen, right? Yeah, thank you. At the outset, I want to thank Care Center, and I want to thank particularly Dr. Ruth Lee, Rola, Ruth, and Bessie for giving me this opportunity. This is a big platform for me to be able to speak to all the fellow internationally educated nurses. Thank you, Care, for your continued support and dedication to internationally educated nurses. And I'm very much delighted, humbled, and honored to be here to be making this presentation about the Post-RN BScN program at York University. I want to start with the story. The story is mine, my journey as an IEN. When I came to this country, me and my wife, we came a few years ago, and we're still learning the nuances of the Canadian culture. And I keep sharing this story. When I go to Tim Hortons and I ask for a cup of coffee, they ask me, how do you take it? And I tell them I take it in a cup and drink it. Right? I don't know the double, double, triple, triple. I'm still learning. We're all quick learners, and we're trying to learn the nuances of Canada. And Canada is the home for us, and we feel very warmly welcomed in Canada. This journey is about my professional journey. When I came into this country, as all of us do, we went to the College of Nurses of Ontario, submitted all our educational credentials for them to assess. At the same time, we also submitted the credentials for my wife. So both of us are nurses. So we come from the same institution from India. My wife came in with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing. I came in with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and a Master of Science in Nursing. And I'd been a teacher for 15 years, but my wife had been working as a registered nurse in both in India and in Oman. We both of us submitted our credentials, and CNO was quick enough to tell my wife that she has the educational equivalency to Canadian education. She can go ahead and do the licensing exam. But for me, they told me, there were gaps in my education, even though I had a Master of Science in Nursing and a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and we came from the same institution. It's just that I had completed my nursing degree a decade earlier than my wife. And they said, your education is not equivalent to Canadian education. There are gaps in your education. You need to go and have additional education completed. When I was looking around, I found the Post-RN BScN program at York University. So I went in and looked for admissions, and I was admitted to the program. And I thank Dr. Pat Bradley, who was the program coordinator at that time, who gave me this opportunity. I went into the program, and then the first class, and I'm walking in with my bag. And as we moved in, I walked into the classroom. All the students were kind of looking at me and as if I was going into the podium to be teaching. They were expecting me to be the teacher and not one of their classmates. And then because they were all much younger than me. And when I went in and then I sat in the classroom, I started communicating with them. At that time, it was quite frustrating for me to get into this program and do this program. And I was asking myself this question. I had already completed BSc and MSc, and why am I doing again a BSc nursing here? And is it really worth? It was frustrating. But then to tell you the fact that it was a blessing in disguise. I was lucky to have gone to this program because once I completed the BScN at York University, so many doors opened. And my Master of Science in Nursing Education was considered equivalent. And then I had the opportunity to get into the PhD program. As Bessie mentioned, I became the first graduate of the PhD program in nursing at York University. That wouldn't have happened if I had not got a chance to get into the BScN program, where I had the opportunity to meet a lot of professors, and I had the opportunity to get into the PhD program. I'm really forever grateful and thankful that I had the opportunity to get into the program. I'm not trying to sell the program. I'm trying to give you the factual information, and I'm the witness for it. And my wife kept on pushing me to go ahead and do this. And I'm really thankful to her as well. Although at that time I was a bit irritated, how come you got eligibility and I didn't get eligibility? There was a kind of a rift there. But I still feel that what she did was right, and she encouraged me to get into the program. Now, to give you a little bit of the background information about York University, York University is located in Toronto, as you know. This is the third largest university in Canada. There are more than 200 programs, about 50,000 undergraduate and graduate students from 175 plus countries. There are 3 campuses, and the Post-RN for Internationally Educated Nurses program is located at the Kiel campus in North Toronto. And we're also the official partners of the Toronto Raptors. Now, to give you a little more information about the Post-RN for Internationally Educated Nurses program, it's a 20-month program. Fall entry, meaning we admit students during the month of September, full-time study in person. We have a lot of simulations, builds on the strengths of past nursing education and experience to practice safe and competent care in the Canadian healthcare system. So you graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing and qualify for licensure to practice. This is the key. You, at this time, may be looking at options of completing IEN pathway courses, which are shorter duration, 8 months, right? 2 terms, first term of education, second term clinicals. Yes, they all look, very, very tempting and impressive, right? Because, when we come in from another country, we are trying to find a solid ground in this place. We have, a family. We have to put food on the table, right? We have so many commitments. I can see that. I don't want to be spending 20 months. Yes, it is an investment. But remember, at the end of 20 months, you get an opportunity to get a degree from the university. None of the other programs give you this. The other programs, you may get a certificate of completion, but not an undergraduate degree. And this is the only program in Ontario that offers a Bachelor of Science in Nursing at the end of this 20 months. So the designation of registered nurse is regulated by College of Nurses of Ontario. All of us know this. All graduates of Canadian BScN program must pass the NCLEX exam. To qualify to write the registration exam, graduates must provide, the residency proof. Either you should be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, or you should have the authorization to work, right? The other thing is, currently there is a 9th registration requirement that has been added from last April by CNO, which is the completion of transition to practice course. You don't have to do it if you do this 20-month program. It's not required. It's considered complete. Why nursing at York? Because it's a concentrated program. It builds on the strengths that you bring in. Okay, so you don't have to repeat courses like anatomy and physiology. You can straight start with the practicum courses and the pharmacology course. Immersive learning, we have a 5,000 square feet nursing simulation center with virtual simulations. You get Canadian experience through clinical placements from terms 2 to 5. Innovative curriculum, we also have an optional stream option, including critical care, mental health, and care of the older adults. It's an inclusive learning environment. Students from diverse and multicultural backgrounds come and study. I'm sure you know internationally educated nurses come from diverse backgrounds. We are experienced in taking care of their needs. Exceptional support and partnership from alumni, peer mentors, and clinical placements with leading hospitals and healthcare organizations. To give you a little more information about the program, this is how the study plan is going to be. In year 1, you start with, so it goes from fall, winter, summer, and then fall, winter terms, 5 continuous terms. Each term is for about 14 weeks, 12 weeks of classes and 2 weeks of exam. And during the first term, you learn about development as a nurse through reflection and theory, theory-based practice. This is a theoretical course. You also learn about health assessment. It's got a lab component. You learn about the Canadian healthcare system. You learn about health of families and social group. Again, it has got a lab component. So these courses, even though we say it's a full-time program, most of these courses are scheduled in such a way that you're able to attend them in 2 days of the week. So the rest of the days you're free, like you can continue doing whatever you're doing. In the winter term, year 1, you learn about ethics and health equity, and you learn about pharmacological and non-pharmacological practices. You learn statistical methods, and this is the first practicum course in the program. So during term 2, you have partnering with communities. 3510 is a community clinicals, and you have theory and clinicals. Clinicals usually it's a 6 hours for 2 days or 12 hours per week. So that's how the clinicals are. During the summer term, you have 3512, which is the nursing in the context of global health, again, theoretical course. You have research course, again, theoretical course. And then you have one practicum course, which is mental health across the lifespan, and it has got a practicum component. So students have to take both the theory and the practicum together. During year 2, the fall term, you have the 4517, which is evolving as a professional nurse, which is advanced professional issues. And then you have leadership course, and you have the acute and complex health challenges. This is again a practicum course. You take theory and practicum together. And then year 2, winter term, you have the IP. We call it integrated practicum or consolidation. That's when you work with the preceptor, you shadow the preceptor, you will continue to do independently. There are no theoretical classes during that term. You only have a course called Nursing Knowledge and Translation that prepares you for the NCLEX exam. So there will be a lot of resources on NCLEX preparation during that particular term. I mentioned about optional stream. It's still optional. If you want to specialize in some areas, like either in acute care, mental health, or in the care of the older adult, you could do that. The only small challenge with that is that to complete these streams, students would need to complete 12 additional credits, an additional term, which means you will be spending one more term extra. Now, is there an advantage of completing a stream option? Of course, yes. It gets noted on your transcript. So when 100 people apply for a job in acute care, the nurse manager is looking at the resumes, and if your resume is there which says, I've had a stream option, I've had experience in this particular area, guess whom will she pick? She'll definitely pick your resume, right? That's the edge that this gives you. You're still spending one term extra, 12 credits additional. Yes, it is a kind of investment, but it pays you well. So this is without the stream option in year 2, fall and winter, but with stream option, an additional term summer. So instead of graduating by the end of the winter term in April, you will graduate by the end of August, that's end of summer term. So you get experience in working in that particular specialty area. Could be mental health, could be care of the elderly, or could be acute care areas. Clinical courses, placement options for students include acute care hospitals, med-surg, emergency, rehabilitative and long-term care facilities in the community, in specialized clinics, right? Mental health, pediatrics, maternity. We have a lot of clinical partners in Vaughan, Newmarket, Barrie, Oakville, Mississauga, Brampton, Toronto, and Durham. Students are also exposed to their clinical practice with vulnerable groups, including children, adults with chronic disease, and older adults. You don't have to worry about getting the placements because we have a nursing placement coordination office at York University. They look for placements for you. So everything is done by the office. You don't have to worry about the clinical placement. You will be placed closer to your residence. You don't have to travel more than 90 minutes by TTC. That's a criteria that they follow. Career options, once you complete the BSc nursing and then complete the registration requirements, you could work anywhere. Sky is the limit, right? I remember asking this question, where do you want to work, to students in the acute care stream? They used to always say ICU. I want to become a nurse practitioner. I want to be able to do this. But currently, students are all quite interested in travel nursing because travel nursing pays them a lot of money, and it is fascinating, right? Tuition fee, are charged per course, paid by term. So this is, if you're a domestic student, you're from Ontario, roughly 14,800 for the entire program. This is based on 2025, 26 tuition fee. They're subject to change. If you're coming in as an international student, on an international student visa, the fee is slightly higher. Okay. For students completing the optional stream, the program would be slightly more expensive because you need to take another 12 credits extra, as I mentioned. Okay. And the program is OSAP eligible. That's something that is very important. And I'm still paying my loan back for the program that I went into. Right? OSAP covers your tuition fee, book fee, and the family expenses. Let me talk a little bit about the admission and application process. So admission requirements are there on the website. You need to get a letter from College of Nurses of Ontario. So it's the first step would be to apply to CNO, get that letter, right? Submit an online application using the OUAC application platform and pay the application fee. Submit the required documents. Admission requirements. You should be a registered nurse in your home jurisdiction. You can apply even if you are already an RN in Ontario. This is something new. Until last year, we were not admitting candidates who already have obtained their RN registration in Ontario. But from this year onwards, from 2026 onwards, we will be admitting candidates who have already obtained RN in Ontario. Say, for example, you've had your diploma in nursing, you did not have a BScN. The CNO had a lot of other options of completing the eligibility, right? They said you could go and do NCLEX exam in the US, NCLEX exam in Australia. So you probably did that and you're an RN now, but you're not able to move forward in profession because nobody will give you an educator position if you don't have a BScN. Nobody will, you will not be able to go and do your graduate education if you don't have a BScN. If you're looking for that, you can come to York University. We will admit even if you have the RN license from Ontario. We want a letter from College of Nurses of Ontario verifying that you've completed at least a diploma education equivalency because this program admission requirement is that you should have completed a diploma nursing in your own country. Diploma, when I say it's a 3-year diploma, not the 2-year diploma, it's a 3-year diploma. Program is open to Ontario residents and non-residents, both domestic and international applicants. Of course, this is a disclaimer that we put. Meeting minimum admission requirements does not guarantee admissions. Applications or applicants are considered in the context of the minimum admission requirements in the applicant pool of that year. So this is the CNO website. I'm sure all of you are familiar with it. How to become a registered nurse in Ontario. Excuse me. And then you start your application. So once you get everything ready, submit an application to this website, ouac.on.ca. So this program code is YHO, right? This is the program code. After you submit an application and paid your fees, wait for 4 to 5 business days for your application to appear in the YORQ system. Once your application appears in the YORQ system, you will receive an email with your YORQ reference number to access the online portal called MyFile. So these are some of the required documents. You need a letter from CNO. You need transcripts of all past college and university studies, your CV or a resume. Acceptable language test is Duolingo 130, TOEFL, IELTS. But there are ways by which you can actually meet the language requirements. You can contact the admissions department. They'll tell you if you had your education in English and if you're able to establish that fact, if the institution can send in the documents directly from their institutional email, the admissions might waive off the English language requirements. So once you submit your application, this is how the MyFile portal looks like. It goes to the main page. They'll tell you what the documents are outstanding, and you continue to submit those documents before the due date, and then you will be able to get some information. So the deadline to apply for the fall term is May 1st, 2026. And this is the MyFile application status. Once you complete submitting all your documents, they'll say decision pending. Once the decision is made, that decision will be updated on the MyFile portal. These are some of the frequently asked questions. How many candidates will be accepted? 50 every year. Can I apply as an international student? Of course, yes, we can, you can apply as an international student. Is the program intense? Yes, it is intensive program. You would study continuously, including the summer term. Does this program meet the CNO practice gap or the education gap? It meets both. Even if you have a safe practice gap, it meets the safe practice gap as well. Is the CASPER test required? No, it's not. Can I apply without a CNO evaluation? No, it's better to have a letter from CNO because that tells us that you have completed your diploma equivalency education. Do I need to provide proof of nursing registration in my home jurisdiction? Yes, but this is usually included in your CNO letter. Do I need to submit all required documents at the same time? No, you can submit each required document when you have it, but all required documents should be submitted before the deadline. Do I need to take a college bridging course before applying? No, you don't have to. What are we looking for in a competitive candidate? Education, experience, and the overall ability to be able to complete this program successfully. Does additional study improve your chances of admission? Yes, it adds value. Like if you've completed your Master of Science in Nursing, we know that you're able to handle your university education, right? When will admission decisions be made? Ongoing, usually starting in April, right? We gave the due date as May 1st, but we start looking at the applications in April itself. Those who have applied early, we start looking at the applications. So these are some of the other ways by which you can connect with us. You can email ien@yorku.ca, right? Or you can even book individual appointments with the Faculty of Health members who are looking at the admissions. There are two important people named Alison and Laura. You can even have an appointment with them, and then they would be able to also give you more information on the program requirements. You can also reach out to me. My email, I'll put it in the chat. You can also email me, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. I really want to thank CARE for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, everyone, for attending this session. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ramesh. This was very valuable information. And once again, it highlighted the importance of continuing education and professional growth. I think the highlighted importance is when you complete a program like this, it's not only adding to your background, but also making your resume more competitive in the job market in the future, which is very, very important. So thank you very much for that comprehensive overview. We do have a few questions coming in, so maybe we'll get started on those. I'll start from the Q&A and then I'll go over to the chat box. We have a participant from the audience asking if a refugee claimant applying would be considered as a domestic or international applicant.
That's a very good question. Usually refugee claimants are considered as domestic people for various other reasons. And I think admission would do this, but I don't have a final answer to it. You need to reach out to the admissions department.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So Sue, please connect and then they'll probably be able to give you more targeted, specific to your situation and documents information. Next question comes from Elaine. Actually, there's a couple I see in the chat box asking this. We have some participants that are already registered with CNO as an RN, working in Canada, but are interested to continue in this program. Would they be able to, and what document would they need from CNO?
That's a very good question again. So this year, we are opening it to all the registered nurses as well. If you are registered in Ontario, you are eligible to apply. All that we need is your registration certificate saying that you're registered. Just send us a copy of your registration certificate. That is enough.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So going back to Sue, the question regarding your tuition fees, that would depend if you're going to be considered international or domestic applicant. So I would suggest to follow up with either Laura or Allison, and I will be following up an email with those links that Dr. Ramesh shared, so you can follow up and get more information regarding your specific scenario. So thank you for that. I will go now to the chat box. There's a question regarding options for online classes or hybrid like TMU. Are there options for online or hybrid classes with this program?
That's a good question. There are few, like in a particular, all these courses are in-person courses. The classes are in person. But some teachers might have it as online or hybrid, right, in some weeks, okay? But all the courses are in-person courses. They are not designed to be online or hybrid courses. But within that course itself, for some weeks, the teachers might have it online.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Very important to know. Going to the next one. Do you accept credentials evaluated by WES? So maybe some master's degree that they may bring from their back home country?
Yeah, the admissions department do not expect you to be sending the WES credential
Report.
evaluation. Yeah, they want the transcripts to be sent directly from your institution. So admissions department at York University, they do their own assessments.
Perfect. Thank you very much for clarifying that as well. Is this flexible for somebody that is working full time?
As I mentioned, yes, the classes are scheduled in such a way that you need to come into the university for 1 day or 2 days in a week. The rest of the week is free for you to continue with your full-time work. We are not calling it as a part-time program. It is a full-time program, but we take note of the fact that you may be working, you may have other commitments. Of course, yes. So for that, we just have scheduled all the classes to be in 1 or 2 days within the week. So the rest of the week is free for you.
Very important. Thank you very much for that as well. It's very important for our IANs. Any scholarship opportunities that may be available?
OSAP is available. There are a number of scholarships that are available within York University. Again, there are some which are competitive, like it's based on GPA. There are some that are based on your financial profile. So when students come in, they have to fill up something called a student financial profile. And that is considered for all the scholarships. So there's a big list of scholarships that is there in the student handbook. Once they get into the program, they can actually continue applying for those scholarships.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Important information regarding scholarships as well. The question goes back to somebody that's already registered with CNO. So if they're already registered as an RN with CNO, can they enroll in the stream course option rather than the first full program?
No, the
They
STEAM option is available only for students getting into the full program.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Questions regarding the timetable of lectures. I guess people are trying to see if their schedule could be met, but if that is that available currently on the website, Dr. Ramesh?
No, we don't have it at this time.
Okay, perfect. So I would say stay in touch and keep an eye out. Sue, I would also suggest that, follow up. I will be sending you those links that you can connect to ask further questions regarding specific details to your scenario.
Yes.
Next question. Dr. Ramesh mentioned about even if we're registered as CNO with CNO as licensed RN with a bachelor's degree from back home, we still need to do this post-RN degree. My question is, I'm a CNO applicant. I'm finishing my bridging course with academic pathway, including 11 theoretical courses, 400 clinical hours. In case I want to pursue my career further, this would be the next step. Would you accept my academic pathway from college here in Ontario? Make some adjustments? Thank you. I have a
That's a,
bachelor's degree from back home.
that's a good question. See, the university has a certain requirement. For example, you have to complete 60 credits at the university to be eligible to get the undergraduate degree. So there will not be any more additional transfer credits for your education. And the courses that I mentioned, the degree plan that I showed, they have to be met. So even if you have completed additional qualifications, additional education at a college, and you have the IEN pathway courses, that may give you an eligibility to become an RN, but it doesn't take away any of the courses in the Post-RN BScN program.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I was just answering some other questions that were already answered. So for NNAS or West questions that I'm getting, based on Dr. Ramesh's answer, the school that you've done from back home must send the documents directly to York University for their evaluations.
That's right.
And I think last question coming in here in the chat box, obviously the class schedule is not available now, but it will be provided ahead of time to the students to make planning.
Yes. We usually have an orientation session in the month of July or August. We bring in all the students who are potential, or even when we're sending the admission letters, we kind of give them the tentative schedule as well. So once you submit all your documents, you probably will know exactly what you're getting into.
Perfect. Very important to build their very busy schedules. I see another question here in Q&A. Is the program equally open for somebody who has already passed NCLEX from Nigeria? So I guess if they've already passed NCLEX, would that add to their admission criteria?
Even if you've passed NCLEX exam, doesn't matter. You will still be eligible to apply to this program. It doesn't change the fact that you meet all the other requirements. Okay, so when you meet all the other requirements, you're eligible to go. In fact, when I went into the program, we were 50 of us, and we had about 12 or 15 of them had already completed NCLEX exam,
Mhm.
right? At that same time. So that continues. So that doesn't change the fact that these are the other requirements that are required.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I think we've covered all the questions currently. I don't know if Ruth and Rola have something to add while we wait for a few more questions to come in, or anybody else has something additional to add. We always have Dr. Ramesh close by. So if you think of a question that you didn't have the chance to ask today, please feel free to reach out to your case manager or myself, and we will forward that question and get the answers. If we don't have them, we will look for them together as our motto. Oh, thank you, Rola. Please go ahead.
I want to thank Dr. Ramesh for this very informative session and for the amazing program and the work that York University. I might be a bit biased because I worked at York in the second entry program. And as well, I got my postgrad certificate as a nurse educator. So I'm just the message. I'm Rula. I'm an IEN. I'm the program manager for the STARS program, Ontario based. Regardless of the requirements of the CNO, and back to some of the questions, like I'm actually kind of remaining with one requirement, or I already kind of in a program. Now, thinking about the academic advancement in your career journey is very important. And I think this program provides you with this, as I would say, this stepping stone in order to move forward and advance. And it's much easier to be graduating from a well-recognized university like York University to advance your career to a master's degree or to a PhD. So the skies are the limit, as Dr. Ramesh mentioned. So I just want to encourage those, even if you've registered, this is an opportunity if your degrees were not recognized to move forward in your pursuing a higher education as a master's degree or a PhD. So thank you again, and I'm looking forward to continue actually supporting the IENs and supporting as well our colleagues at York and Dr. Ramesh. Thank you.
Thank you, Rola, for your kind words. And I'm not doing anything big. You guys are doing big things like Dr. Ruth Lee, Rola, Bessie, and Ruth. You're doing an amazing job. You're helping IENs. This is the first place everybody feels they belong to. The whole country feels kind of foreign when you come in. The only organization that makes them feel welcome, the only organization that makes them feel belong is CARE. And I'm really, really forever grateful to CARE section and for all the work that you do. Thank you.
Well, we couldn't do it without our partners, and you're one very strong partner, Dr. Ramesh. So thank you for bringing that up. And I'll pass the mic to Ruth. Please go ahead, Ruth.
So I think the audience have to forgive us because we keep on calling you Dr. Ramesh because Ramesh is your first name. And the reason why we've
Sorry.
been calling you that is because you are a member of the family and it's an intimate name that we call you. So I think that you do understand that. So
Absolutely.
the reason why it bring back a memory for me, I think that I'm also naming like in fact the older generation. Some of you may heard of Dr. Ruth, the sex therapist, way back when, like a few decades ago. She's very famous, and people keep on calling me Dr. Ruth, and I keep on saying no, 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 I'm not as sexy. So yeah, it's interesting. Some of the things that we as immigrants probably need to recognize, which is the first name, which is the last name, and other than being very intimately calling people's first name with their title, we let we need to pay more attention when we go for interviews and things like that. So I know that Ramesh is so kind that she didn't correct us. But when we go for an interview with him, I will suggest you pay more attention that which is his last name. And if you don't know him, I don't think he's too happy. Maybe he's okay with that, calling him by his first name at the first meeting. I never met you before.
I'm
So that's,
absolutely fine with first name, please.
yeah,
My last
yeah.
name is a long name and it's kind of a challenge to pronounce it. So I'm
Well,
absolutely fine with the first name, please.
that's why
Please.
we need more leaders like you, right? You are a success story other than being an IEN, but you are a success story, that you are inspiration to everyone. right? And I need to confess, many people think that I also have the honor of being an IEN, but I can tell you I'm not good enough to be an IEN. I was not able to get into nursing school in my home country. And that's why I come to Canada. And it's been an embarrassment for many, many, many years. And I finally break that after I got my doctorate to say, hey, you know, please don't look down at the IENs. Ruth Lee's been okay in her journey, getting all the credentials locally in Canada. She was not as good as any one of you. Okay, I want you to remember that you bring a lot of knowledge, expertise, and global experiences to this country to enrich the nursing profession in this country. And do not let anyone tell you anything different. Not to say that you don't have things to learn, you do. That's why we bring a Ramesh to this forum to let you know that there's ways to learn more Canadian way to do things, so to say, right? And for you to take the course, getting the degree is one thing. It's certainly opened many, many doors for you. But the reality is that you also learn a lot. When you look at the content of the curriculum, you learn a lot, and you also have the opportunity to meet a lot of scholars from the university, open many, many doors through conferences, networking, and so on, that no money can buy. Sometimes it's not just what you know is a given, but whom you know. Why whom you know? Is because people know how you operate. People know that you have human skills. People know that you have strength. People know that you're resilient. These are all qualities that are very important to be successful in healthcare as well as in nursing. So as you can see across the country in Canada, maybe globally, many nurses are in leadership roles. Just check out the CEOs, the vice presidents of healthcare institutions, not just academia, but also service sector. They are the one that show you nursing really, really open a lot of opportunity for all of you. And having something local and knowing people, they wouldn't tell you where the opportunities exist and may be able to be the reference. So if they don't know you, how can they tell us anything about you, right? I have the opportunity to work with Ramesh on the advisory committee for the consortium of nurses education. And that's how I know how intelligent he is, how smart he is, how eloquent he is, right? And personable he is. So I think that is a thing that taking advantage of a local education, such as what Ramesh have offered to us, is absolutely plus to every one of you. And of course, you're not all the same. Everybody have their circumstances, everybody have their strength. So if you think that this is for you, I would say go for it. But you think, well, depending on my experience right now, and maybe I have a lot of credentials already from my home country, you may not need this course, right? So if Ramesh would do it over again, and if Ramesh start today, I would say that a lot of the hurdles have been removed, particularly after COVID. A lot of the barriers have been removed. I still remember the days that we have hundreds of people line up for the 50 spots at York. And I think some of those pressure is a little eased now, that you have a higher chance to get in now than before. So I really encourage all of you to look closely at the curriculum and look at the value added, not just getting the knowledge from the curriculum, but all the other advantage that I just cited to help you move along with your journey and to the success. And Ramesh is the living example for every one of you. So anyway, I'm going to close here, and I feel very honored being the ED at Care Center to be able to support IENs over the years, and I will continue to be that champion for IENs, because purely the reason is that I'm not good enough to be one of you, and you should feel very proud that you were able to be successfully complete your program in your home country, contribute to your home country, and Canada is lucky and privileged to have you joined the Canadian nursing workforce. And Canada is a land of opportunity. You can check out our charter. Please take full advantage of the opportunity presented to you. So I'll close here because my team know that I can talk till the cows go home. But our case managers are all here to support you. I know that sometimes you may feel a little intimidated to reach out to the university. I can tell you, don't feel intimidated, reach out to Ramesh, but your case manager is here to support you. Okay, if you need help in the application processes, you need help to clarify things, do talk to your case manager because they know how to help you along. And if he or she doesn't know, they will reach out to Ramesh to hear it directly from him. So I'm going to close here now, and best wishes.
Thank you so much, Ruth. And that's the positivity of our organization, community, continuous developing and learning from each other. I clearly apologize for using first name. It was out of familiarity and warmth, but it's always good to remember the professionalism and accountabilities as INs, as newcomers. So thank you very much, Ruth. I hope it came across in lighthearted way as it was intended, and we continue building on that. So thank you again. We will be following up with emails with the links that Dr. Perumal shared with us today. If there's no other further questions or notes or inputs from everybody, I would just like to encourage everyone to keep moving forward. We saw some notes there in the chat box. I'm an RPN looking for an RN. That's a perfect opportunity. Idris, to further grow and advance your career in Canada, this would be a wonderful program to transition from an RPN, an RN, and with his bachelor's degree after, you can further advance to the sky. All know that you're not alone. Please continue to stay connected with all of us. Ask questions freely. And never hesitate to seek guidance. Every question matters and supports your journey. Any last comments before we say goodbye for the day? Oh, sorry, a few last questions. I understand the applications are now open. Is there a deadline for the applications, Dr. Ramesh? Oh, sorry if we missed that.
It's May 1st, 2026. And please continue to call me Ramesh. I prefer with my first name, so please, you don't have to apologize. And I'm also sending you the presentation that I used. You can share it with the members who attended the presentation today.
Absolutely wonderful. Perfect. Well, good luck to everyone. If we can do it, you can all do it. There's no limit. Please stay connected. We're here to support in any way we can. Onwards and upwards always. Take care and have a great rest of your day.